you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find? Would you kindly get this?
So, before I even get into my Microsoft E3 video, I must say congratulations to LeBron James and the Miami Heat. This is number 2. Congrats, you know, you should have lost in Game 6, but Popovich of the Spurs gave it away. And Game 7, Ginobili had about 500 turnovers at the end of the 4th quarter, so congratulations, no hate, it is what it is, people. But it is time for my Microsoft E3 press conference review, thoughts, opinions. You want to hear it from me, a credible, experienced, and knowledgeable gamer. You don't want to hear it from the rest of those trolls out there. That's why you've been PMing me, tweeting me, messaging me, crying to me. Now let me put it right out there, right from the very start. Microsoft had the best E3 conference. They had the most games shown, and they had the better conference. A little bit better than Sony, and significantly better than Nintendo, who rarely showed any games, to be honest. And for 2014, outside their own games, they really don't have any third parties working for it. It is what it is. Now, the only reason why you people thought that Microsoft had a bad E3 conference was simple. The DRM, the online policies, and all that other jazz that Microsoft was throwing around. But see, I'm objective here. I'm not going to let their DRM policies cloud my judgment. DRM policies that are, oh wait, gone. But this was a games show. They were showing off games. You people let your bias about DRM policies affect how you view the conference. They could have showed 1 million exclusives. You would have said, oh wait, I hate them because of the DRM policies. And that's cool. That's cool. If you hate Microsoft and you hated the Xbox One because of all the DRM policies, that is cool. But don't let it sway your objectivity, and don't let it make you biased when you're viewing the conference and all of the games, which is what happened to all of you people. You guys let your bias show. You're drones. I can't say anything else about it. You let your bias show, and you dismiss all these games they showed over DRM policies. And like I said, if you don't like them, that's cool, but don't be biased. Don't be biased. And now that all these DRM policies are gone, you have all these Sony people cheering, oh yeah, we bent Xbox over, we made them change. Why are you like celebrating and making fun of them? You should just be happy that you have it the way you wanted it, but you still have people making videos making fun of Xbox and Microsoft. I'm like, shouldn't you be worrying about the fact that you gotta pay to play online for PSN, just like you have to do with Xbox Live now? But no, you clowns can continue to make fun of Microsoft while Sony sneaks in the back door and does you without loop. Congratulations, people. Now, the conference opened up with Kojima and Metal Gear Solid 5, a game not on a Nintendo platform. And I'm not a big fan of Metal Gear, everybody knows this. I own the original on regular Nintendo, which is a far cry from the MSX version, but I don't like Metal Gear Solid 5. But that being said, a lot of people do like it, and it's coming to the Xbox One. Kojima cannot speak English. I don't know why they have the Japanese people on stage. You would not send Reggie Fils-Aimé to go talk to people in Japan. You would get somebody that could speak Japanese. Likewise, why these Japanese companies continue to send people to America that can't speak English is well beyond my knowledge. The 360 is getting a new design. Newer, cheaper, sleeker, smaller, and if this came out 2 years ago, maybe I would have bought one, but I don't play my consoles much anymore. My 360 is broken. I would rather just buy an Xbox One, but I don't play consoles, and the Xbox One is not backward compatible, so who knows what I'll do. Xbox Live gets 2 free games a month now, which is good. I mean, I still don't want to pay $60 a year to play online, and I'd rather have Steam sales than rely on 2 free games a month, but I digress. It's not a bad thing. Come to think of it now, that if you want to play online on the PS4 and Xbox One, you have to pay $60 online a year for one and $50 a year for the other. So you will be paying $100 plus to be playing online for your console gaming. That is amazing. 360, unlike the Wii, is not dead. Unlike other companies and corporations, Microsoft and Sony believe that you should be supporting your last generation console into your next generation console. Nintendo unfortunately had No games 2012, no games 2011. 2010 was amazing for the Wii, but since 2010 you have had nothing significant in any form of consistent stretch on a Nintendo console. Sorry, it's the truth. 2011, dead. 2012, dead. 2013, dead. You're waiting to 2014 and probably towards the end and without third-party support, so it is not a good time to be a Nintendo fan. Splinter Cell Blacklist, Lightning Returns, GTA 5, Batman Arkham Origins, Max, Dark Souls 2, World of Tanks. I mean, it's not terrible for the final year of the system when a next generation system's coming in, but, you know, it's not the best either. But you do get GTA 5, you do get a Splinter Cell game, you do get Dark Souls 2, which is one of the bigger, better games of the year, and you do get Batman Arkham Origins, so even if you don't upgrade to the next generation Xbox One immediately, or PlayStation 4, you still have something to play, unlike the Wii guys. Xbox One, let's move on to that. Ryse, looks like a 300 Spartan game. You know, 300 the movie with the Spartans, there's a Spartan and all of that. You know, Microsoft looking for the next bro game, the next big macho man game, killing people, stabbing people, and it looks pretty good. I won't lie, I mean, at some points I was like, okay, this is how the gameplay works, and at other points I'm like, wait, now it's just like quick time event after quick time event, so I guess I have to go into a little more detail how the game's going to be played, how the game's going to be shown, but as of right now it does look pretty decent. Killer Instinct 3, I don't like the way that it looks like something that's not Killer Instinct. I mean, Jago's a little more sleeker, he has a katana, not a tanto, and it's got a different kind of blade and everything like that, but I'm going to be the one that defends Killer Instinct right here. I'm going to tell you why. When Street Fighter 4 came out, when it was being shown, was being developed, I was like, wait a second. It's not the people that were making Third Strike, Street Fighter 3. Completely different crew of people. It's been a 10-year gap. They're not using sprites when King of Fighters 12 and BlazBlue were using beautiful sprites. They weren't bringing in any Third Strike characters because they claimed that, you know, they wanted to get away from that game because it didn't sell well. They rectified that later on, but I was not happy that they're having no Dudley, no Remy, no, what's his name, the New Yorker, Alex, and other characters of that nature. Had to deal with it. I did not like the fact that all the characters all of a sudden got super buff and things of that nature, and the art style was kind of funky and everything like that, and I just didn't like it. There was nothing about Street Fighter that I liked. Ultra combos. Yeah, we're going to give people ultra combos. People that get their asses kicked should be rewarded with the most powerful move in the game. Didn't like it. I mean, they got rid of the parrying because they said, you know, Third Strike and Street Fighter 3, it didn't lend itself to, you know, a casual gamer, a non-pro hardcore gamer. They need to make their game more accessible and everything and bring it down so more and more people could play. Translation, Third Strike was not financially successful, and Street Fighter 4 they wanted to very much be so, and all these factors were like, oh my god, I don't like this game, I don't want to play it, they're going in the wrong direction, I'm just going to play King of Fighters 12, I'm just going to play BlazBlue. Lo and behold, King of Fighters 12 was awful. It was like a demo. I returned that game the day I bought it hours later. BlazBlue was amazing, but lo and behold, Street Fighter 4 is the most popular fighting game this generation, is the most competitive played game for fighters this generation, and it has turned out to be a solid game, which has turned out to be one of the better fighters this generation. So I will go into Killer Instinct 3 with an open mind. I know Double Helix is working on it, but I'm not willing to write it off yet. What I will say though is that free-to-play on fighters does not work. Mad Catz is making you a fight stick. You want your fighting game, I don't care who you are, everybody wants their fighting game to be at EVO, to be at tournaments, to be played, word of mouth, to be in the community. But how would that have worked with DRM and the whole pay-to-play? Every tournament venue would have to have a constant internet connection. Every Xbox would have to pay for everything, for every copy of the game. Download everything, because everything would have to be accessible for every player. It's just how it would have to be. So, I'm glad they got rid of the DRM, but they need to get rid of the pay-to-play thing, because it does not work for fighters. It can work for games like Warframe and PlanetSide, just not a fighting game. I'm sorry. Sunset Overdrive. Wow, more zombies. Like I said before, people, after The Last of Us, zombie games should be gone. Nobody needs to make any more zombie games. We've had enough of them. It's over. And I understand that Insomniac left Sony to go out and, you know, broaden their horizons, make nice multiplayer games as a third-party developer, establish themselves as a top-tier third-party game, sell their games on PC, Wii U, PS3, 360, PS4, Xbox One, whatever. But why would you just leave Sony to go to Microsoft? That's like the exact opposite of what you were talking about doing. You wanted to branch out, but you just left Sony, who you had a ton of success with, to Microsoft, which is starting brand new. It doesn't make sense. I mean, you made Fuse, which didn't light the world on fire, which was awful commercially, and now you're going into Sunset Overdrive, which looks like some Valve trailer on a Left 4 Dead 3 game. I don't know, but I'm kind of confused where your business direction is going, but moving on. Forza 5, I'm not a big car game with simulation cars, everything like that. I want an F-Zero, I'll take that, but if you're a simulation car fan or a quasi-simulation car fan, it's for you. Minecraft, never played it, don't care for it. If that's your cup of tea, whatever. Quantum Break by Remedy, didn't see much of it, but we all know what kind of developer that Remedy is, so you know it's going to be a good game. D4, we didn't get to see much of it, but you know what D4 is about, people. Project Spark. Project Spark. Now, I have no interest in SmartGlass. I think it's a silly idea. I gotta balance the controller in one hand and all kinds of tablets or phones depending on specifications. I mean, I don't know exactly what kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, requirements or things of that nature they're looking for in a tablet. Like they're using tablets A's, B's, and C's and not tablets D's, C's, and 3's, or who knows about that thing. But Project Spark looked a little corny at first, but then I realized that this is the kind of game that Nintendo should have had on the Wii U with their tablet controller. Maybe Sony with the whole little Vita type cross-platform playing. This is the game that should have been on the Wii U because it just looks fun to play. You can do a whole bunch of things with the touchpad and everything, but then again, I guess they're also using SmartGlass in conjunction with Kinect and things like that, so maybe that's why they're doing it, who knows. But this is the kind of game that should have been on the Wii U, but Wii U has no games. Game DVR and Twitch built in. Now we know where that 3 gigs of RAM is going to. Although I do think that Microsoft, you need to start crunching down your operating system and everything and make it probably about use 1 to 2 gigs and leave 6 to 7 gigs for gaming, because Sony's using 7 gigs for gaming. 7 gigs of a faster variety, so you gotta do something right now. Or not right now, but definitely in the future. But Twitch and Game DVR is definitely something that is gonna come in handy. A lot of people use Twitch on PC, a lot of people watch people play. Those channels make a ton of money. If I ever end up getting a better headset that's not raspy and staticky, I'll start doing Twitch again, definitely make that for sure. Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon, I don't know what to think about it, but it is in the lineage of Panzer Dragoon Saga. And for better or for worse, it has my interest just because it is within the Panzer Dragoon series. I need to know that, is this game going to be a worthy successor, or is this game going to make me curse it for disgracing a legendary franchise? Dead Rising 3 didn't look too impressive, but it is exclusive, and it is showing that Microsoft is willing to go out there and get third-party support, or that third-party support is willing to go out there and give Microsoft support. Something that not all other systems can get, hint hint, scam you. But it looked decent, nothing to write home about. Like I said, after The Last of Us, I believe that these zombie games need to take a 10-year hiatus. I'm sorry, they really do. Battlefield 4, running at 60 frames per second on the consoles now, on Xbox One, on PlayStation 4. You console gamers will finally be able to get the full version of the game, the full version of what the PC gamers have been playing for, I don't know, 2 years now. And prior to that, on Battlefield 2 and all those other games and everything like that, you know what I mean. But I know it's going to be 720p, it's definitely not going to be 1080p at 60 frames per second. The details are going to be vastly and significantly lowered, but as long as the gameplay is intact, why should you really care? Oh, and it was also funny that the game wasn't launching up and it was shown on the PC. PC wins E3, yet again. It is what it is, people. Below or Black Tusk, or Black Tusk and Below. I don't know if Below was the game made by Black Tusk, or Below was the game they mentioned, and Black Tusk was a game made by, I don't know. But we'll talk about Black Tusk, and it looks like a fairly decent game. They said it was all in-engine and things like that. Everybody seems to be going for, you know, the bro gamer, the man gamer, the action game. That's what seems to be going on nowadays. All these games have to have a gun in them, and that's not too bad as long as they're different from each other and they have a variety and they vary from game to game. I don't seem to really have a problem with it. Halo 5, and a lot of people really need to shut the hell up about Halo 5, talking about why was he in a robe, why was he out in the desert, why does a robot or a cyborg need to cover himself up in a robe, what is he worried about doing, getting a suntan? I don't know if you noticed or not, but mechanical parts and sand and deserts, they don't really go well together. They don't. Sorry, they just don't. Hence why covering up some of those mechanical joints and components and parts wouldn't be the worst idea ever, because you'd be stiffed up and everything like that. And maybe people don't know about a game made by Capcom 10 years ago, Mega Man 02, where after the end of the first game, the start of the second game, he's in the desert, he's broke up, he's battered, he's heavily battle damage 0, and he's covered up in a cloak from the desert to protect himself from the elements. The game starts out, he rips the cloak out, he throws it in the air, and he proceeds to go whoop some ass. At the end of the level, he crashes down because he's pretty much beat the hell up. And finally, the game of the show, made by Respawn Entertainment. The game that you Sony players and you Nintendo fans are not going to play, Titanfall. And Titanfall, thank God, was announced for the PC as well, because Titanfall looks sick as hell. Fast-paced first-person shooter, jetpacks and jumping, ground-based, and that aerial crap, no offense to Battlefield and PlanetSide. I like the aerial attacks, but it does get cumbersome at times. But we get mechs, a la a Hawkins style. And that, people, looks sick. And I cannot wait. Titanfall is my game of the show. We had other games like The Division, which are coming to everything but Nintendo. We have Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15, which are coming to everything but Nintendo, which I thought were going to be exclusive to PlayStation 4, so that lowers their confidence for me right now, because they really didn't show a lot of games, to be honest. So we're going to look down the list and we're going to see that, you know, the 360 had a decent showing with Blacklist, Lightning Returns, GTA 5, Batman Arkham Origins, Max, Dark Souls 2, and World of Tanks. So if you're not in a rush to get a next generation console, that's good. And for the Xbox One, we had Ryse, Killer Instinct, Sunset Overdrive, Forza 5, Minecraft, Quantum Break, D4, Project Spark, Crimson Dragon, Dead Rising 3, that's 10 games, The Witcher 3, Battlefield 4, Black Tusk, Halo 5, Titanfall, that's like 15 games. It's not bad. I mean, maybe not all exclusive, maybe a lot timed exclusive. I could make the argument that PlayStation 4 and Sony could have showed more, but you know, there was that whole rumored thing of Microsoft paying people off. But like I said, people, when it came to games, and that's what this conference was about, and my review was about, Nintendo lost, and Sony was edged out by Microsoft. The Xbox One and Microsoft had the best conference in regards to games. The only reason why you people didn't think so is because you're drones, you were blind, and you couldn't look at the conference with any objectivity because you were too worried and concerned about the online DRMs and policies. Me, I can look at things with an open mind. I wasn't blinded or went in thinking that, oh, I'm going to hate it automatically because of the DRM. But now that DRM is gone, what do you have to say? All that anti-consumer thing, gone. Am I going to buy an Xbox One? Probably not. But the funny thing is, you have a company that abandoned the Wii since 2010. 2011, it was dead. 2012, it was dead. Wii U, aka the Scam U, hasn't even gotten out the gate yet. We're still waiting for games 7 months into the console's launch, and Nintendo fans want to talk about Microsoft being anti-consumer. You might want to look in the mirror and call Nintendo anti-consumer. Killing off a platform with a 100 million user base and not releasing any games for the next platform 7 months into its life cycle, to me, that is anti-consumer, especially when you're trying to rip people off with the Scam U for $350. So, my E3 review, Microsoft number 1, Sony number 2, Nintendo disqualified. I'm looking forward to your 2014 games, Nintendo, but outside of that, third-party developers don't want to seem to do anything on your system or even touch it with a 10-foot pole. I hope you like being relegated to a system that has nothing but your games, because that's what it really feels like it's going to happen. The Wii all over again, except 1 year in. So, it was a good E3. I enjoyed it. Microsoft came to the table. They didn't talk about cable boxes, they showed games. Sony came to the table. Unfortunately, they banked more on the no DRM policy than actually showing games, and Nintendo came to the table saying, wait till 2014 and oh, we have no third-party support.